Good evening, everybody in Australia, and good morning to our international friends that have joined us. So today we're celebrating the most awesome industry you can be involved in. So being a building designer is an incredibly satisfying job. And if you're thinking of becoming a building designer, the great thing is that no matter what interest or where your interests lie, you can use these skills to niche yourself in the industry. So I'd like to share my screen, and hopefully you can't see that. Can you see that?
Yes, we can, Teresa.
You can see my slides?
I can see your Building Designer Day 2021.
Building Designers Day 2021. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, good, because I can't see it. So hopefully all will run smoothly. Okay, so I'll just go through. So typically our students come into our Certificate 4 in Building Design Drafting, which is our entry-level qualifications. And they typically come from a number of industries, and they can leverage their skills that they have learned in other industries. And some of the main ones where our students are coming from are from engineering, interior design, IT and animation, graphic design, and I guess the obvious one would be from construction. So our catchphrase, "Fight ugly," still remains as important to us as it was when we launched the school. This was our way of making our mark by helping to create designers that are going to help improve the built environment around us. But not just by making beautiful buildings, but sustainable buildings that are a comfort and a joy to live in. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to Built Form Design Academy's Getting Started in Building Design. So Built Form Design Academy was created about 5 years ago because we were very disheartened by the level of education that was available for building designers, and particularly for draftsmen in the industry at the time. So our mission was, and still is, to create draftsmen and building designers that are a valued part of any design team and can contribute to the design process. We do this by having a number of main focus points in all of our qualifications. So our main focus points are the NCC and compliance, sustainable design, strong concept and design skills, materials, construction and detailing, communication skills, and strong BIM CAD skills. Our courses teach building design in a way that mimics the workplace, which means that our graduates can seamlessly transition into jobs in building design offices and, building design and architecture offices. So our entry-level qualification is the Certificate 4 in Building Design Drafting, and the focus is to create graduates that can step into a building design role at entry level. Students can choose to study ArchiCAD or Revit as their main software, and all of their projects are created using their preference. Interestingly, though, because there is so little out there as far as drafting courses go, our students in Cert 4 are often working in a variety of industries. So not just building design. So obviously there's building design and architecture, but they're also working in engineering, drafting, interior design, manufacturing, such as truss and wall frame manufacturers, joinery, such as kitchen joiners, and design and construction companies. One of our recent graduates was actually looking at starting work as a set designer. So looking at design and constructing of sets, stage sets. So tonight I would like to showcase some of the work from our students. So our first project is from Tessa. So this work was done in Revit. Now, typically the students are doing this assignment within about 2 to 3 months from starting the course if they are studying full time. We encourage our students to be as creative as they want to be, and I like that this student was not afraid to use colour in her design because of the particular design brief that she was meeting. So this is pretty much the first project that our students work on. This second project is by our student Vise. So this is just a small snippet of the project. Vise did an amazing, very professional job, and so Vise was snapped up for work even before she finished her qualification. So she's got high-level skills in detailing and in presentation of her work. This next project is a commercial project that was undertaken in the certificate 4 by Jason. He's done an amazing job on this one. I mean, particularly I like seeing a building that has great, decent overhangs on the building and really good fixed shading devices. So he ticked all the boxes there. And this was part of his construction set. So this was his design of the bar. It was a restaurant bar project, or the whole building was a restaurant bar. And this was the same project that was undertaken by Nick, one of our West Australia students. Nick tended to get a bit carried away with modelling, but I figure that in our industry, this is a curiosity that is often valued, especially in a student. He created, I'm not sure if this will work, but he created a GIF of his building. There you go. So the GIF kind of shows the shading devices folding away, so fully closed to fully opened, which I think was kind of cute. Wasn't part of the assignment, but he kind of got a bit carried away with his modelling. So he did a pretty amazing job of that. Once our students complete the Cert 4, we generally encourage them to move on to the Diploma of Building Design. Now, we do encourage everyone to go through the Cert 4, so we've really got our first major cohort of students going through the Diploma now. So licensing varies across Australia. So if you are thinking of becoming a building designer, you really need to make sure that you understand what the licensing requirements are, because some states have no requirements at all, but then there's other states such as New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, and Tasmania who have quite strict licensing requirements. And the requirements range from working on all small scale residential and commercial buildings, or class 2 buildings, or childcare facilities. So there's a range of restrictions. So if you're thinking of doing this, you really should get in touch with the licensing bodies of your state to find out what their requirements are, so you make sure you target your studies at the right level. So now we're going to look at some of the work from our diploma students. So this is the work of Elise. So Elise did this amazing project in ArchiCAD, and in this project she explored pretty organic design. If you look at her floor plan, and she really packed the scheme with sustainable features. So not only just passive solar design, but in the materials she used and the way she designed the building. So it's one of her sections. So this is just a small snapshot of the work that she created. That project recently in 2021, so a few months ago, won her the BDAA Student Award for residential work, which, as you can imagine, we're very proud of. And this is the same project by another student, by Susie. Susie was another Certificate 4 graduate. This one was done in Revit. So, we've got the ArchiCAD project and the Revit project. Another amazing, absolutely amazing design and an incredibly high standard of work. And her elevations. So that's all the work I'll be showcasing tonight. But just to round off, I just wanted to say that, Built Form Design Academy, we're constantly adding to the courses and the qualifications we offer. And we're currently working on expanding our continuing professional development courses. So we've just recently launched our specification writing, and we will soon be launching a contract administration unit, which are units that come out of the diploma, which we offer as standalone units for anyone wanting to upskill. And we're also currently working with the BDAA, the Building Designers Association of Australia, to work up and deliver CPD to upskill their members. So, and if you have any ideas of courses or skills that you would like, that you can't find other colleges or you can't find information elsewhere, we are always happy to work up CPD. So if you've got any ideas, happy for you to send me an email on teresa@bfda.edu.au. And if anyone's got any questions, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Teresa, yes, we do have a question.
All right.
Josh from Perth in WA was wondering what difficulties we could face throughout our first few weeks in the office.
In the office? You mean starting a job?
Yes, that's all. It's not clear, but that's what I'm assuming as well, starting a new job as a student.
Yeah, I mean, there is the obvious issues with starting a new job. Any job that requires strong computer skills. Sorry, just trying to.
That could be Josh.
Any job. Look, generally though, design offices have reasonably good QA manuals, because when you're using such high-tech solutions, people aren't going to just let you run loose on their projects. So I have found that building design officers, he's very intent on getting me. Josh, stop it. So building design officers generally have very strong QA manuals, which guide you on how things are done within the office. So, and just sort of be easy on yourself. Don't expect to go in there and just take over, and being curious and delving into your own projects is great. But when you're working in an office, make sure that other people know what you're doing, and save your work all the time.
Josh, look, I can see you're trying to get desperately some more questions out. Type them in and we'll answer them. Look, I think really importantly is, if you're a student and you are starting in somebody's practice, don't be scared to ask questions.
Yeah.
Get actively involved and make sure that you're really attentive. And for those of you that really want to learn, go in there and ask the questions. Do not ever be scared to ask anyone anything. If you're a BDAA student member, don't be afraid. Jump on the BDAA community portal, and you'll then be able to send out questions, and we have people all over Australia that will be able to assist you.
Absolutely. Stay connected with the BDAA. I mean, the best thing is your network. That's going to be where you're going to get all your answers.
Yep, as well as local chapters. So, Josh is very persistent tonight, isn't he? I've got Josh there. So I've got a couple more comments for people for Josh, and that's just make sure you stay connected with your local chapter. If you're in the Perth chapter, the chapter chair there is Cara. Cara will welcome you with open arms. She's a great leader for the BDAA. So make sure you get in contact with Cara. If you haven't got contact, if you need any information, Josh, just shoot me an email, ceo@bdaa.com.au, ceo@bdaa.com.au, and I'll endeavour to answer any further questions you might have. Richard's written for you, Josh, in the comments. It used to be if you can make a good coffee, but Teresa points out it's mostly to be happy with the start at the bottom. Everything is learning. Even 60-year-olds in Richard's office are still learning. So, so Josh is saying,
it's definitely an industry where you never know everything. You know, there's always more to learn. So just
absolutely
be open to learning. Don't ever think you're going to know it all, because you won't.
And even today, you know, I've got experienced designers who are still learning, because we've got technology that continually change. I mean, technology gets superseded every 3 months. So there's opportunities to learn, and there's new softwares that come out. I mean, people wouldn't have even thought of BIM years ago, or you know, using Photoshop and so forth. And look at these 3D visualizations that everyone's producing today. It's fantastic, as evidence with some of the drawings that your students have produced there, Teresa. It's really, really fantastic. And I guess the most important thing is understanding the buildability. It's easy to design, but you've got to understand about the person who's going to actually build it and how it's going to be built. And importantly, how is that material going to get to the site, and how is it going to be handled on site? Because a lot of people tend to forget that and then just go, oh, well, it's up to the builder. And if you can think about them in the design process, about how is the material going to come, how is it going to be staged, this is how it can be built, whether it's prefab or whatever it is. But if you're going to design something prefab, make sure that you've got the ability to put cranes onto the site, because many sites where you cannot get cranes to it, and the designs are shot because, and have to be redone because people had not thought about how the builder was actually going to build the job.
And for anyone wanting to get into the industry, I mean, hanging around building sites, like just actually watching what happens, or even asking builders if you can go on site to see what happens, is probably the best way to learn about what, you know, getting the other side, not just the design side, but also the construction side, and how the difficulties that builders are facing by what we draw.
And Josh, keep us posted throughout your career. Let us know how you're going. If you need support, I can see you've just written here that you're excited to start your career. It's great to see the enthusiasm there. So keep it up. If you've got any questions, just shoot us an email. It's not a problem at all. Get involved in the BDA community and with your local chapter, and you'll learn so much just from speaking to people. And again, don't be afraid to ask any questions. Thanks again, Teresa.